It's October 12th, 2021, and this is Sketchworks NewsBrake. The news stops here. I'm Brian Troxell. Hoping to make a treaty, the U.S. and the Taliban held their first in-person meeting since the supremely botched withdrawal from Afghanistan. No agreement was reached because the Taliban were insulted by the sandwich selection from Panera. In a speech commemorating the 110th anniversary of the Chinese Revolution, China's President Xi Jinping called for a reunification with Taiwan. Taiwan said they just prefer to remain friends. Friday, America's worst mayor, Bill de Blasio, announced he is ending New York City's Gifted and Talented program for city schools, as there are no more gifted and talented students in New York City. Staying in New York, current worst former Governor Andrew Cuomo's lawyer said in a press conference that there is no way Cuomo sexually harassed 11 women, that it's a lie. That number is way too low. This past weekend, Southwest Airlines canceled more than 2,000 flights nationwide in an effort to out-spirit Spirit. Southwest blames disruptive weather in part for its decision to cancel the flights. Someone alert the National Weather Service about the new and very specific weather phenomenon that only affects Southwest flights and not any other airline at all. The aforementioned Spirit Airlines is taking advantage of Southwest's problems by offering a new airfare special called "If Southwest Screwed You Over, Let Spirit Screw You Over Even Harder." Joe Biden brushed off a bad September report on jobs that severely failed to meet expectations. Because Joe Biden knows a thing or two about failing to meet job expectations. A new study shows that the Pfizer vaccine is less effective in men than women. So you can add getting vaccinated to the list of things your husband can't do right. Congressional one-hit wonder and anti-vaxxer Allen West is recovering from COVID-19. He told his Twitter followers he credits monoclonal antibody treatment for saving him. He says this treatment is better than, as he puts it, enriching the pockets of Big Pharma. Because, as we all know, monoclonal antibodies grow on trees and are definitely not made by a billion-dollar pharmaceutical company that charges the U.S. government $2,100 per dose. Malaysia has eased their travel restrictions as COVID cases in the country have slowed. Malaysia doesn't want tourists getting COVID. Oh, they'll still cane a tourist for a traffic violation, but at least they won't have COVID while they're being caned. Thanks, Malaysia. Sydney, Australia is reopening after 107 days of lockdown, but only to vaccinated residents. In an effort to easily identify vaccinated residents, Sydney has hired Sylvester McMonkey McBean and his Star-On machine to put stars upon all the vaccinated thars. Step aside, toilet paper, because you're not the only popular product people can't find these days. Sketchworks NewsBrake correspondent Tim Millard just found out shortages of wine and liquor are growing.
There's no way that can be possible. I mean... Oh. No!
Thank you, Tim. We'll check back in with Tim after he's had a moment to compose himself. Members of the Austrian Space Forum, in conjunction with the Israel Space Agency, are spending a month in a rocky Israeli crater in efforts to simulate life on Mars. It is an exact simulation, except for the gravity and the temperature and the breathable atmosphere. But it kind of looks like Mars though, right? In other space news, William Shatner's trip with Jeff Bezos is being delayed today due to forecasted high winds. Plus, a Romulan battlecruiser has been reported in this quadrant. A complete violation of measures spelled out in the Treaty of Alderaan. We must be cautious at all costs. As a result of Bezos including an iconic TV sci-fi star on an actual spaceflight, Richard Branson has asked Doctor Who's Tom Baker to join him on a flight. And Elon Musk has asked Alf. A Florida veterinarian was sentenced to 22 years in prison for sexually abusing dogs, recording it, and collecting child pornography. Despite all this, he still has a higher approval rating than Joe Biden. 3 economists won this year's Nobel Prize in Economics for their research on wages and jobs. The trio discovered that if you pay higher wages, people will want to work for you. Truly groundbreaking stuff. A salmonella outbreak, which sickened 82 people in Colorado, has been tied to a seafood restaurant in Denver. If you're eating seafood in Denver, you kind of deserve to get salmonella. Excavators in colonial Williamsburg unearthed what is believed to be one of the nation's oldest black churches. They could tell the church was black after it was shot in the back during a routine traffic stop. Beginning next academic year, California public schools will provide free tampons and pads to all students who menstruate, while Vaseline and tissues will be provided to all students who get blue balls. Kansas police said a wallet was returned to its owner after having been missing since the early 1970s. When notified about the discovery of his long-lost wallet, the owner sadly admitted that no, he did not have any reason to keep a condom in it. That's right! Sketchworks Comedy is performing part of our all-new, all-female, once-delayed sketch comedy show, Heels Up, this Saturday night at 8 p.m. at the ATL Comedy Awards in the Roll Call Amphitheater at Ponce City Market, right here in Atlanta, Georgia. It's part of 3 days celebrating community, collaboration, and comedy. The 3 C's, or the 3 K's if you can't spell. If you're not in Atlanta, part of the festival will be shown online. So head on over to atlcomedyawards.com for more info on that. Oxford College in London has installed a plaque next to a statue of Cecil Rhodes, letting people know Rhodes was a committed British colonialist. And a second plaque telling people Rhodes never recycled. What an asshole. How dare he not live up to the obnoxiously judgmental standards of people in the early 21st century? Tool. In a new interview with the BBC, Paul McCartney says John Lennon is solely to blame for breaking up the Beatles. Those of you who blamed Yoko Ono will be forgiven if you listen to Ono's entire album catalog. Hey, we never said forgiveness was easy. Premiering this Thursday on HBO Max, a 2-part special titled What Happened, Brittany Murphy? About the promising actress and her tragic, unexpected death. The documentary promises many surprises, and possibly the biggest surprise of all is how the intrusive Ronan Farrow didn't somehow worm his way into the story. You're kidding yourself if you don't think Sinatra's his dad. On to another Brittany, who spells her name differently than Brittany, the Brittany in the last story. Britney Spears took time away from posting naked pictures of herself on Instagram to announce she is writing a fiction book about true events which happened to her in real life. But the story is completely fictitious. By the way, is Britney's sister Jamie and Haley Joel Osment's sister Emily the same person? Israeli archaeologists have discovered an ancient winemaking complex. Archaeologists also found an attached gift shop. Apparently, stupid wine signs have existed for thousands of years. So no, Julie, they're not clever. A UK woman claims that her vegetable phobia has caused her to eat only carbs and cheese for over 30 years. Not one to complain, she says she's feeling great. And constipated. And that's all for Sketchworks NewsBrake. We'll be back next week, and we hope you are too. I'm Brian Troxell. Say hi to your mom for me.